So, have you ever heard of something called ayahuasca? Ayahuasca is a South American psychoactive brew traditionally used by indigenous cultures and folk healers in the Amazon and Orinoco. I probably fucked that up, but yeah, look it up on Google. This is where I got this from. Um, it's for spiritual ceremonies, divinations, and healings of various psychosomatic complaints. So, a lot of people use it to heal any past traumas they have. It's like a different kind of form of meditation, but you use a brew. You use a brew. I did that last year, so we're gonna talk about it. So what's up, guys? Your boy Eugene Smilez, and I am back. I know I'm finally back with a real podcast this time. So, around this time last year, August 2022, I embarked on a spiritual journey called ayahuasca. I do recommend you look it up. There's a lot of things about it. But I just want to talk about my experience with it. So, for those who don't know me personally, I'm very in tune with like my spiritual side. I do consider myself a witch or a warlock. I don't I think witch is fun. Witch is more fun. We like witches. We like the American Horror Story, Coven, and stuff like that. But I'm a good witch. I'm not an evil witch. I'm a good witch. I only use my powers for good. But I like to be in touch with my spiritual side, and being somebody that has grown up in church, I got to see and learn a lot of things. And then as I gotten older, and I started to branch out on my own and just kind of look at everything differently, um, I was like, whoa, I think I'm more in tune with this, more in tune with that. So I know I've always been like excited and interested in scary things. I love scary movies. I love, witches and vampires and zombies movies and all this other kind of stuff. So when I started to like look into things and just kind of get in touch more with my spiritual side, I started to get more connected with myself and with what I want and who I want to become. And I can tell you, for me, it was a lot better than me going to church. Not saying I didn't learn anything from church. I learned a lot from church, but just being in church and seeing all the things that I've seen in church, my preacher cheating with a woman in church, divorcing his wife and marrying that woman, other people cheating on each other, and just so much sin going on. Yeah. Um, yeah. So, I just started to get more in touch, in tune with myself spiritually. So, back in the day, I want to say during earlier days on Netflix, Chelsea Handler, who had a popular late night show called Chelsea Lately, hilarious white woman. She had a show on Netflix where she would like go around and do things. So, one of the episodes, she went to South America, I want to say, and she participated in ayahuasca ceremony. And I can't remember everything that happened. I know I'm going to tell you about my experience about how I had to prepare for it. But you have to do a lot of things before you get started. But in hers, I just remember her going. They had to take a brew. They had to like drink a brew, like a soup or something, and it's kind of a hallucinogen. So they were throwing up. They were shitting. Like I remember her and her team, they were like running back and forth to the bathroom, throwing up and shitting, and people were like passing out and sweating, and it was a lot. You go on like this spiritual journey, and when you do it, certain people can see things. They see things. They see people. They see beings. They see things that are not of this earth. They might be looking at you, but they're not looking at you. They're like looking into another dimension where they see colors, they see animals, they see so many different things. So I was like, oh, I want to try that. I want to try that because I'm definitely somebody that believes that there's more than just this planet. We can't be that self-centered to think that it's just Earth and it's just humans and it's just us. No, I believe there's more. I believe that there are other beings and worlds that live among us that we just can't see because they vibrate on a different plane. So you ever feel like you ever somewhere you feel like something has brushed your shoulder or has walked past you, like you feel a presence but you don't see anything? I think that might be another realm, that might be another universe that we just can't see. So I seen it and I was like, oh, I want to try that. I want to try that. Some years have passed. I had a roommate who was going to do it, and he told me about the person and how he was going to do it because he has a lot of trauma in his life and a lot of things that he has never let go that is holding him back spiritually and mentally and fucking him up in relationships and stuff like that. So he wanted to go. So I was like, okay, cool. So he was kind of telling me about it as he was going. And, he said, in his experience, he's seen like a dragon. He's seen this dragon, and this dragon was telling him things and telling him to let go of things. And he also had a twin brother that died when he was very young. Um, and he's seen that twin brother. And the twin brother was like, hey, I'm always here with you and this and that. So I'm like, oh, I was super excited because, for those who don't know, my mom passed away in 2015. And it was sudden, didn't get to say goodbye or anything. And it was something like, oh, I hope I see my mom. That would be great to see her if I have this experience. And I was like, I'm a big fan of Aaliyah, the singer. I was like, shit, I might see Aaliyah. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, what's up? So it was something that I was really excited to do. And this is also around the time where I really started to tap into my spirituality and witchery. I read tarot cards. Um, every guess what? Every tarot card reading I have done, I have hit it right on the nose. Your boy don't play no games, all right? I'm a real motherfucking reader. I just need to get my hands back on them cards because I ain't done it in a while. And people be like, "Oh, can you do my reading?" I'm just like, no. I gotta get my hands back on. I've been busy, I've been busy. So I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it." So when he got back, he told me about his experience. The lady. So it was a lady that did. It was a black lady. I like to support black businesses. She was doing it, and at one point, she was going to come to Atlanta because she was based in Texas, and my roommate had went to Texas. So she was coming to Atlanta, and I was like, "Oh yes, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it." And then they decided they weren't going to come to Atlanta. I guess there wasn't enough people that signed up. So then they were gonna had another one scheduled in August, and I said, "I'm gonna do it." So I put in my PTO. I booked my Spirit flight because all I needed was a book bag. I rented my car, and I set up time to do it. So I sent her the money because you do have to pay for these things. So I sent the money, and she sent like the paperwork and stuff that was basically saying, how like the things I have to do to prepare. So 2 weeks prior and 2 weeks after, you have to do certain things. Absolutely no sex. No sex. No sex. No sex of any kind. Which for me is not an issue. I think it's pretty easy. I think you should not allow things that are not tangible like sex to control you. You know what I'm saying? If every time you feel like you need to have sex, you have to have sex, you need to learn how to control yourself. Control yourself. You don't want that thing kind of things to take over you. Also, we're not able to drink or do any kind of drugs, smoking, anything like that. Which again is not an issue for me. And let me tell you, so my roommate went, and my roommate was not. He did not do it. He didn't. He was still having sex. He was still partaking in drugs, and I was just like, "You're not taking this serious." So let me tell you something. If there's anything that you want to do, take it serious. Why even do it if you're not gonna take it serious? Keep that in mind. So I was abstaining from sex and any kind of drinking or drugs. weeds, everything. I even not even when I say drugs, I mean like prescription. I was on prep, so if I wasn't having sex, I didn't need to take prep. I didn't take any kind of medication. I didn't take any of my vitamins, nothing. We also had to be on a raw vegan diet. So there's she sent a list of things because there were even certain like nuts and certain things that you cannot eat, and I'm already vegan, so okay, cool. That was a little hard because sometimes I'm like, this is the stuff I eat, and then you know what I'm saying. But I did that, and I go. I get on my flight. I get down there. I am going to get my rental car. I'm gonna tell y'all the whole story. Some of it ain't really got nothing to do with the ayahuasca, but I'm gonna tell y'all my whole story all the way till I got back because shit gets a little crazy. So I am going to get my car, and I am looking for my ID. And I'm like, where's my not my ID, my driver's license. So I have a driver's license and I have like two or three ID cards. I keep my driver's license in my car because sometimes I forget my wallet when I'm leaving and I ain't trying to get caught slipping. I don't need to get pulled over for something and they be like, empty your driver's license. And I'll be like, oh, I got my ID. And then I go to jail or get a ticket. Nah, we ain't got time for that. So I keep my driver's license in my car, and I left that motherfucker in my car when I went to Texas to do ayahuasca. So I am like texting my roommate, like, oh my God, can you please go to my car, get my driver's license, and take a picture of it? Which I'm just like, I need something because I don't know if this is gonna work because I don't have my driver license with me. So again, if I got pulled over in Texas and I had a picture of my driver license, I ain't know what was gonna work. I ain't know what was gonna happen. But I just needed it. I needed it to get my car, and I was gonna drive real careful to make sure I ain't get pulled over. So like I had him. He sent all that or whatever, and I'm in line, and I'm just looking. I'm looking at all the people. I'm like, God, who am I gonna get? Who am I gonna get? So I end up getting somebody. I think somebody that like came up just to help. So they were probably trying to get in and out really quickly, and I just gave them my ID card that looks like a Georgia driver's license, which I don't know if theirs look different in Texas. And everything went through, and I mean I was just looking like, ooh, okay, paperwork going through. I'm signing the paperwork. I'm like, okay. I get in the car. I'm like, okay. I was not like calm until I got out of the parking lot. When I got in the parking lot, I was like, ooh, I made it. I'm out of here. I ain't got no driver's license. I got my ID, but we're gonna drive real careful. So I have the address of the place. I think I had went like shopping and a couple other places because we couldn't get to the compound, quote unquote compound. We couldn't get there too early. So once the time I timed it right, I started driving, and I'm driving in the country, in the woods, whatever. So I'm getting close, and the instructions was kind of not clear. It was like, oh, when you get here, drive a little further up. I don't know. It just didn't make no sense. So I end up driving down this fucking dirt road, and I'm still driving, and I'm like, I don't know if this place is all the way back here. I'm driving past this house. I'm driving past this house, and I'm driving all over the place. I keep driving, 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 driving. I'm just like, I don't think I'm in the right place. I was like in somebody's yard or somewhere like in the country in the woods. It was weird. And I think I remember like texting them or being like, "Hey, I don't know where I'm at, blah blah blah." But I had been like, I'm in the woods at this point, and I had to pee. So I ended up having to like pee somewhere on the side of this fucking dirt road. I don't know. And I had to like just turn around, and I get back on the main road, and I drive a little bit further up, and I see the sign that I was looking for. I said, "Oh, here is the sign I was looking for." You know, sometimes you just read a little bit more careful. You might know where the fuck you going. So I get here, go in the gate. I'm pulling up to this house. It's still on this big old property, like like a farm. And I pull up and I park, and I look at the house, and it's like big butch stud. I don't know. They said butch is for white people, but it was a big old stud, heavy set that come outside. So I'm like, okay. So it's a lady. I knew it was a lady. I didn't know nothing else about it. I knew it was a black lady. So the shaman, I guess, is a heavy set black lady, and she has her heavy set stud, really hard retired military stud girlfriend helping her. So I go up and she's like, "Hey," I say, "Hey, I give her my name, um, and Eugene or whatever. Like, oh, you're such and such's friend. Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay. So they're like, oh, we need to we need to sage you before you come in. So I was like, okay, cool. So she sages me. One thing she also does is she like spits, and it was like heavy. It felt like she pulled that out of her gut and spit it. And one thing that my roommate did tell me about her, the stud girlfriend, is that she was nasty. He would just say she's just really nasty. And some people hawk and spit, but as time went, I just seen how like nasty she was all the time. I mean, burping, burping out loud, and just it was a lot. It was a lot. So they say to me, I come in, I meet her. I don't remember her name. So when I'm done with people, I don't like when I cut people off. My brain deletes their name. I will tell you why I cut them off and never will reach out or speak to them again. But yeah, I don't remember their names. So we, I come in, I meet her. She's like, oh, you're such a friend. Yes. She shows me her room. I think we're just kind of chilling. They tell me it's like was it a llama? Yeah, I think it was like a llama on the property. And they're like, tell me about the llama, and then they tell me about like this little lake or something. I can't I think I can't remember if I like walked around right then. I probably walked around or whatever. I had to take my shoes off when I came in. It was just a house. And some more people come in. It was like two girls who were friends. They were definitely younger than me. They came. It was a black guy who had been before. He had been through the ceremony at least like one or two times before with the same shaman. And was there somebody else? I think that was. Oh, it was her helper. She had like this little Mexican girl that was one of her like assistants, and this other black girl who was one of her assistants. So yeah, um, I know we sat down and we talked about some things, and it was a 2 day experience. So the first day we would do it, second day we would do it. So we end up like having a shower. I think she gave us like some all white to wear, and we started talking about the things. So one of the things we took was like a snuff. It was like a some kind of powder or something that they like blow up your fucking nose. It's like, am I doing coke? What is this? What's going on? So they literally you have to like hold your nose, one nostril, and they like put this like kind of straw thing up and like blow it up your fucking nose. And your eyes are gonna immediately water, and it's like, what the fuck is this? That was one. It was also, I feel like it was also like some droplets that they put in your eye too. So you had to like lean your head back, and they put the droplets in your eye. So yeah, we had the snuff that they blew up your nose, both nostrils. We had these eye drops, the and all this stuff is supposed to open you up spiritually. It's supposed to like open you up for the ayahuasca. It's prep. It's pre gaming, right? Um, the the eye droplets burnt the fuck out of your eyes because you're supposed to let them drop in and close your eyes and hold it. It burns. The snuff stuff burns. Yeah, it's it's something. But all this stuff is supposed to open you up. I think we did like a little kind of prayer or something. Um, so let's get into night one. One thing that kind of annoyed me is that she was saying that I don't like when people are like, "Oh, I'm gonna just give you a little bit because this might be too much for you." I have a stomach of steel. Okay, stomach of steel. I used to drink homemade moonshine. I when I lived in Valdosta, Georgia, down in South Georgia, literally next to the Florida borderline. My homeboys, like friends or family, used to make moonshine. We used to drink that shit. Like we used to mix it and we used to drink it as shots. And I used to be like a heavy drinker. I didn't like drink every day or nothing, but maybe when I used to drink, I used to drink. So I had a stomach of steel. Usually, anytime I've tried like anything, it takes a lot to get me to feel something. Medicine, any of that. So she was like, "Oh, we're not going to give you that much. We're going to give you just a little bit because this is a really strong brew. This is really strong. This to get you." And I just be like, when people say it to me, I'd be like, "We'll see." Because baby, I'm gonna need something real strong, you know. So I remember taking it, and we had to like lay there, and she was singing a song and kind of playing music on this little drum and all it is, and I ain't feel nothing. I'm like, okay, what's going on? I'm laying here, I'm doing it, and I'm open. You know what I'm saying? One thing I'm not gonna do is waste my time or money. I flew from Atlanta, Georgia, all the way down to Texas, rented a car, paid my money, and you think I'm not gonna take this serious? So I was just like laying here waiting for something to happen. And it might have also kind of fucked me up that I had these expectations, that was like, oh, bitches is seeing ghosts and relatives and all this stuff. Like, what I'ma see? I ain't see nothing. I didn't see anything at all. Like that first night, nothing happened. And she was like, "Are you feeling anything?" And I was like, "No, I'm just laying here. Like, I'm not feeling anything, nothing." I I do remember the people that were there with me were feeling a little something. They were kind of doing things. I think one girl was like crying, but I didn't feel anything at all. And again, I am somebody that has done the work. I have done the spiritual work. I've done like the mental work on myself, and I could have been a little bit further along spiritually or something where I needed a little bit more, not just the little bit that you're gonna give us because this is new and it's supposed to be a strong brew, so you say. So that first night I didn't feel anything at all. Nothing. So we go to sleep next day. Next day we I think we sit down and talk. First of all, she fixed breakfast. I told you, bitch, that I was fucking vegan. Why the hell are you giving me a plate with eggs and rice? Oh yeah, I forgot you vegan. Excuse me? You forgot. How this your business, this your company, this how you make money. I'm giving you money to do this whole ceremony and ritual and all this, and you forgot that I was vegan and don't have any options for me. I think I might have had I know I had rice, bread. I don't even maybe potatoes. They did have some good ass fucking mangoes though. The mangoes was good as hell. That made me be like, oh, I need to buy some mangoes. I ain't never had no mangoes that good, and it was just the right kind of soft too, and the right kind of juicy. Like when you bite it, the juice just come down the side of your face. It was so good. So we end up sitting down, and I think we had a conversation about what we saw, and everybody was talking about what they saw and what they experienced and all that. And I was just like, I didn't see anything, I didn't feel anything. And I said, and I told her, I said, well, maybe I needed more because even when I have done things, tried drugs or whatever, in the past, I need a lot more to feel something. I have a stomach of steel. So she proceeds to make it seem as if I didn't feel or see anything because I was not open to the experience. And one thing I don't like people to tell me what I am and what I am not, especially when I know. Sometimes people can bullshit and you be like, okay, bitch, you got me, but no, I ain't like that. So I was like, no, I'm open, but and then so her stud heavy set girlfriend, oh, people coming up here and they wasting their time. They not open to this. Why the fuck they even come? So she ain't put no ad on it. She ain't say my name. She ain't looking at me, but bitch, I know you talking about me. So I'm up here like I'm here for a spiritual journey, and this big fat bitch over here is throwing shots my way. You're not even the shaman. You the shaman's girlfriend. And from the stories that I hear, you don't have a job. You don't have nothing going on. You depend on her for everything. So you need to shut the fuck up. That's what I wanted to say. But I'm on a spiritual journey, and I'm like, girl, I had to keep my calm because when I'm in a strange place, these bitches could have killed me, and I could have been, where the hell is Eugene? We ain't seen him. He went to say he ain't come back. You know, I'm risking my life here. So, and I was like, no, I'm very much open, but I didn't feel anything. And I told her about that. And she's like, well, sometimes you feel like you need more and you really just don't need more. You just need to focus on what you have. And I was just like, okay, I'm not gonna argue with you. You're supposed to be the professional, supposed to be the professional. So I'm not gonna argue with you about this, but I am looking at you sideways because I spent my money and time and PTO to come down here, and I ain't feeling shit. So, um, oh, so she calls herself trying to like read me. She's like, "Oh, you just need to let go. It's just you have things in your past, and she's like, you have a problem with masculinity. You have a problem with being masculine. Like you're too masculine to want to let go and just free yourself." And I'm looking around like, who the fuck is this bitch talking to? Literally, my nails are painted. Like I was going through a thing, I guess a phase where I was like painting my nails black and just trying different things. And I'm literally looking at her like, who is she talking to? And and as she kept talking, I was like, this bitch is talking about my roommate. Because apparently, while my roommate was there, he did have conversations about me. I guess I came up in the conversation, and because we do live in the same house, we lived in the same house. A lot of times when people are reading, are pulling, are getting downloads. That's what they're calling, like pulling from the spiritual realm. When they're getting downloads, they can also get downloads about people who you're around or who you live with. And everything she was saying, because she said a lot of things, and I was just like in my head, because at this point I'm not gonna be going back and forth with you. You think you right? Sure, bitch, you're right. You can have the last word. I don't give a fuck about having the last word, but you're getting on my goddamn nerves. And I need to be seeing Stars, Stripes, My Mama, and Aaliyah and Biggie Smalls tonight. Cause bitch, what the fuck I come down here for? Y'all playing. So yeah, all the stuff she was saying, I was like, that's not me. It's like that's not me. That's not me, but whatever. So we prepare for the second ritual. Same thing, blows the stuff in my nose. And this time her stud girlfriend is um going to also go through the ceremony. She's not gonna help. She's gonna go through the ceremony also. So they blow the stuff in our nose. They and there's different kinds. There's different kinds of stuff that you can blow. That there's different kind of substances. They all have different things. Open up your heart, open up your mind, open up your spirit, all the different stuff. And they do the eye drops and stuff again. So we're back laying on these mats on the ground, and she's singing, and then she has us go around and say, I'm gonna go around and tell us what you're grateful for. or what animal you're grateful for or something like that. So we're all saying we're grateful for something. We're going around. We're singing. Um, she ends up giving us a little bit more of the brew, the ayahuasca brew that she claims is so strong and so powerful. And then we end up just like laying down. So this time I'm feeling something, right? I'm feeling something. As I'm laying down on the mat, I have the covers over my head. I am feeling like I am in water. I literally feel like I am floating in water. Like I feel like my body. You ever are like laying on your back in the pool or something and you feel that wave of like that back and forth? I literally feel like I'm floating in water. And I'm relaxing in it because I'm just like, okay, bitch, this what the fuck I wanted. I want to feel something. This is night two. Like I'm going home tomorrow, so I feel like I'm floating in water. And while I feel like I'm floating in water, I have my eyes closed and I see I like submerge. I feel like I fall deep. I'm falling into the water now, and I am starting to see like a creature from afar. Like I'm seeing like the blue, it's like the water is like really dark blue, almost black. And I'm starting to see like an octopus. Hold on, before I go there, I something is I like I feel like something is calling me to go outside. I feel like something is calling me to go outside. It's like, come outside, come outside, come outside. It's so weird. So, I pop up. I said, I need to go outside, and they were like, why? Hold on. I was like, I said something is calling me to go outside, and they were like, no, just lay back down. I don't want you to run away. Don't run away from the feeling. I said, I'm not running away from the feeling. I Something is literally calling me outside, whether it's telling me I need to be outside in nature or I need to be under the stars or something. Something is telling me to go outside. So she's like, no, just lay back down. Maybe you can go outside later. So I lay back down. Then that's when I started to have that feeling like I'm in the water, and I'm starting to see like an octopus, and I'm seeing an octopus, and the octopus has the big old head, and it has the 8 arms, and each arm I think was like doing something different. They were all doing something different, and what I got from it, and this is like, and it's not like I was physically seeing. It's not like I have my eyes open and I seen like this octopus floating in the air, but I seen it like eyes closed. I seen it, and I felt that I was in the water. It was like it was telling me I'm like an octopus, but you don't know and that I can easily like change and conform and adapt. I'm always one to adapt. I'm never a person that feels like everybody has to live by my rules. I don't mind living by your rules, as long as they make sense, as long as I see a benefit. And I think that's what it was saying to me is like I'm this person that can live in multiple environments and that can do multiple things, that have multiple talents, and I can do a lot of them. And I try to do a lot of them at once. But one of the things it was trying to tell me to do is to like focus on one thing, master that thing. Yes, you are an octopus, you have multiple limbs, but that does not mean you to use every single limb to do something at the same time. Like take time. Maybe you could use those 8 limbs on one thing and master that. Or maybe you can use 4 on 1 and 4 on 1. Like I need to master that. And then if you also don't know, an octopus can like squeeze in very small spaces. They don't have like bones. So if there's like tiny holes, they can like squish their body and get into these very, very small spaces. And yeah. I did feel my stomach like bubble a little bit, but I did not have to go pee. I did not throw up. I did not poop. Some of the other people were like crying. One guy was in the bathroom tearing it up because it was, I mean, it was quiet. and you could hear everything. So he was in the bathroom tearing it up. The same guy was up dancing. He was just up and like kind of praise dancing, and he was like going through. He was going through it. The stud girlfriend obviously has a lot of trauma and things. Apparently, she was in the military. She's seen her friends die, and I think they appeared to her again because this isn't the first time she's done it. They've appeared to her again, and she was crying and crying out to that, and it was a thing. I was listening to myself and my message that I was receiving, but I was also kind of like being aware of what was going on. Um, and that was pretty much it for me. I never did go outside that night, or did I? I think after everybody went to sleep, I might have went outside. I think after everybody went to sleep, I might have went outside. But I did. God, I did like get. I got a lot of downloads. I think I could have got more, but I also feel like the person that was doing everything that was a shaman wasn't the right person for me. I am all, I don't mind a little hood rat behavior, a little ghetto behavior. You ain't got to be all uptight and uptight and professional stuff. I can deal with a relaxed environment, but when you're just unprofessional to the point of where you're trying to tell me that I am not who I am and that I am totally wrong and that I am not opening up. If you don't think I'm opening up, let's ask me questions. Ask me some questions to open me up. Figure out what's going on, why you feel like I'm closed. Like, don't just tell me I'm not opening up because that don't work for me. You got to tell me what's up. And I felt like she was again reading my roommate instead of reading me. And I ain't like her attitude, and I ain't like her girlfriend attitude. Her girlfriend was real stank. On top of her just being a disgusting person, physically just all that spitting and burping and farting and all that just out loud. It was just like, girl, please have some couth, have some class. It was just like, ugh. But yeah, and I did get a little bit of downloads. We had a conversation before we left again, just about what we experienced. And I told him what I experienced and what blah blah about that. And she's like, oh, when y'all get home, let me know y'all got home safe and this and that and the third. And if y'all want to reach out and text me, and I'll probably reach out to y'all to see how y'all are doing. And of course, the same thing that we did to prepare for the ayahuasca, we had to do 2 weeks after. I already had it in my mind that I was never talking to those motherfuckers again. Okay. Thank you for your service, bitch. I will never talk to you again. Absolutely fucking not. So, when I got in my car and I left the property, I never reached back out. I never talked to them again or anything. It was like shabu. And I don't remember if they reached out or something. I feel like they probably have reached out to me, but when I tell you I ain't respond if they did, fuck you. I don't like your attitude. I don't like your attitude. So I get back to Atlanta, and I'm getting off of MARTA. I get off my MARTA train. I'm going down. I have to go down the stairs in the MARTA station. I'm going down the stairs. It's like I don't know what the fuck happened. It was like my foot. I landed on the side of my foot. Like, why did my foot turn to the side? I don't know. But I was going down the stairs. I landed on the side of my foot, and I heard a big. It's like I was like, oh, and like the people that was going downstairs around me heard it crack too, and I had to like stop on the stairs. I'm a ninja, so I don't really be falling. So I know I need to stop, and I kind of had to hop all the way home. And I was like, I hurt my fucking foot. I don't know what happened. So I had like wrapped it up, iced it up or something, and held it up because I'm thinking maybe I just like a little sprain. It wasn't that too bad. My foot was looking like a fucking golf ball on it. So I ended up having to go to emergency care and all this bullshit. I fractured my damn foot coming back from ayahuasca. And yeah, which a part of my my message and downloads that I got also kind of was like I need to maybe sit down a little bit because I'm always doing a lot. I'm like always doing a lot. I was going to work. I also do personal training. I do my cycle classes. I'm making music. I'm doing my YouTube. I'm doing podcasts. I'm also trying to have a social life. And sometimes I'm just doing too much. So me spraining my ankle or fracturing my foot was like, bitch, sit the fuck down. Take a break. Like relax. Relax, relax, relax. So yeah, that was my experience with ayahuasca, and it sucks because, again, when you hear stories about things and you're like, oh my god, you seen this, you seen that, I'm gonna have such a breakthrough, and you don't have that breakthrough, it'd be like, womp womp. It, yeah, that's that's not it. That's supposed to be booing. It don't sound like booing, but that's what that was supposed to be. But yeah, it wasn't the experience I wanted, but I am gonna do this again. I do want to go and actually have another ayahuasca experience again with somebody else. Definitely not that fucking lady and her girlfriend. Fuck them. Um, and I want to go, of course, with somebody and break through. I do feel like I have made a lot of spiritual change. I've made a lot of changes since then. So since then, I um I feel like I've grown a little bit more. I've learned to like before when I say I don't care about you or I don't fuck with you no more or something, I would still maybe still fuck with you a little bit. But now I absolutely do not. Like I ain't going to your page. I'm not going to see what you're doing. I'm not texting you. If you text me, I might not fucking respond or you're gonna get a short response. If you die, I'm not going to your funeral. I don't care. I do not care. And some people might be like, "Oh, that's so mean." I'm like, "That's not mean," because there's certain times people do things to you, and you need to cut them off. And we a lot of times we be like, "Oh, well, I don't care about them. I don't care," but we really do care. Oh no, bitch, I don't give a fuck now. I am literally learning to be selfish and do what's best for me. And again, since then, I have gotten a whole new job, whole new career with a promotion in like 2 months. I think it was like 2 months. I bought a house. I've got a dog. I'm currently in a relationship that shows a lot more about me, and I've just been able to kind of do things that I said I was never gonna do or did not have a desire to do. I've been able to do them. So did the ayahuasca help? Maybe. I don't know. I do want to have that experience where I can go to like another realm. I do feel like I have a little bit more vivid dreams sometimes. But I recommend it if you're not scared. Because one thing ayahuasca should do is to show you who you are. A lot of times we know who we are, we know how we are, but we don't want to admit it. And we need to have a mirror putting up to our face that you're a fucking asshole, you're a jerk, you're a bitch, you're a liar, you're inconsistent, whatever the case. We need something to tell us that we can't run from because sometimes our friends will tell us that and we don't want to listen to them and we don't want to talk to them no more. We don't talk to them for a couple weeks or whatever because they told us the truth. And ayahuasca is something that can help you with that. It can help with anxiety. It can help with a lot of things. It just depends on what you are, what you're going through, who you are, and and that just determines what you're gonna